ओम शांति। आप कहेंगे साइलेंस में बैठे बोलने का संकल्प आया या साइलेंस के बाद बोलने का संकल्प?
Would you say that Daddy had the thought of speaking when sitting in silence?
साइलेंस में
Or is it
बैठे
that
बोलने
after
का संकल्प आया होगा या साइलेंस पूरी हुई अभी बोलने का संकल्प?
did Daddy have the thought of speaking when sitting in silence, or was it after the silence ended that she thought of speaking?
मुरली भी साइलेंस से सुनो।
Baba says, listen to the Murli in silence. At that time there should be no thoughts of anything, not even of service. So just now Daddy had the thought. In the NCO meeting, most of it was not just to be able to control waste thoughts, but to come to a stage where you don't have any waste thoughts. No matter what the reason is, there shouldn't be any waste thoughts. If you understand that there's a reason why the waste thoughts come, then which is bigger? Is it your thoughts or is it the reason? What is the reason to have waste thoughts?
संकल्प की अपनी क्वालिटी फर्स्ट क्लास हो। जयंती ने क्या सुना है मुझे पता नहीं है, मैंने सुना नहीं।
I don't know what Janti Ben shared, but the quality of thought should be first class.
जिस संकल्प से बाबा ने मुझे पैदा किया है।
The thought with which Baba created me, what was that thought? Baba, the resident of Paramdam, had a thought to come onto this earth, to enter the body of Brahma, and to create the new, in order to create the new world. He had the thought to remind the souls who had been separated from him for half the cycle. Was Shiv Baba who had the thought. He is always the resident of Paramdam. He is always beyond thoughts. He doesn't know what thoughts are. And yet, he had the thought that he has to come down here. Brahma Baba cannot tell you what the moment, what the date is of when Shiv Baba entered him. Brahma Baba even was not aware of this. He didn't know who is entering him and what is that one doing. But that one had the thought, that one up above had the thought of getting things done through this one. That one had the thought of getting this one to do his work. This one began to do the work. And so now we Bab Dada's children have to think about what is it that we have to do. So one is creating the thought within us of what we have to do, and the other one is showing us how we have to do it. Not only does Baba pull us to tell us what we need to do, but he's also practically demonstrating to us how we have to do that. In the morning I had spoken a little bit about silence. What are thoughts? What is silence? Everyone has this pull to be part of the gathering of yoga. No one wants to miss that. If someone misses Amrit Vela, then they feel that they missed something, that it wasn't right that they missed Amrit Vela. There's a feeling of missing something. Especially the true effort makers, if they miss Amrit Vela even one day, they'll feel guilty. Or even if their Amrit Vela isn't good, if it's not accurate, they'll feel guilty because they've benefited a lot through Amrit Vela. They've had many benefits through Amrit Vela. So those who've had benefit through Amrit Vela, no matter what their physical condition has been, even if they're about to be dying, they still wouldn't have missed Amrit Vela, knowing its benefits.
हम बहुत काल से जो किया हुआ अमृत वेले का जो शक्ति पाई हुई है ना, उसको समय समय पर बड़ी काम में आई है.
Whatever power they've received at Amrit Vela, that's been very useful at a time of need.
दूसरा है जब इस संगठन में बैठने का चांस मिलता है.
And secondly, whenever you have a chance to sit in a gathering, especially those who pay attention to themselves personally, to make sure that your thoughts remain of a good quality. Okay, they're not waste thoughts, but are they useful thoughts?
स्वयं के उन्नति के लिए या
Are they thoughts for your progress? Are they thoughts for service?
क्या फायदा है संकल्प में?
What are the benefits of you having those thoughts?
ये तो बाबा समझा दी है ना.
Baba has given us this understanding.
मैं कहूँ मेरा संकल्प तो मेरा फिर तो भिन्न भिन्न प्रकार का होगा.
If I say it's my thoughts, then of course there'll be a variety of sanskars, a variety of thoughts.
हमारे को कैसा संकल्प करना चाहिए वो सिखाता है.
But Baba is teaching us what type of thoughts we should have.
जिसमें चार बातें संकल्प में.
There should be 4 things in our thoughts.
थोड़ा ध्यान देना.
So pay attention to this as you're listening
चार
to
बातें
it.
हैं. एक है स्वयं की कोई कमजोरी.
One is weaknesses of the
दूसरी है
self,
कमी.
defects in the self, something missing, sorry.
तीसरी है आदत.
And then habits.
आदत है. घड़ी घड़ी वो संकल्प वो उसी अनुसार ही.
It's as though you have thoughts according to the habits, even though there's no need to have those thoughts. You keep on thinking about someone or the other because it's a habit. Just like people have a habit of smoking or drinking, in the same way you don't let go of this habit of creating unnecessary thoughts.
चौथा होता है जो किया है या करना है वो फालतू संकल्प.
And then the 4th is wasteful, unnecessary thoughts of, okay, you want to do something and then you'll think, okay, I'm going to do it after this. And so you have thoughts that are not really necessary. Okay, I've done this, I'll do this after that. Or you make plans. You sit down quietly making those plans. Okay, you've made your plan. You've made your plan that tomorrow morning you're going to do that. You've made your plan, so why should you keep on thinking about it again and again then?
तो अंदर deep silence में माना जाना अंतर्मुखी होकर के.
To go deep into silence means to be introverted means
अंतर्मुखी हो जाए. अंतर्मुखता भी
first of all to turn within,
गहराई में जाए.
to go into the depth of what it means to be introverted.
बहिर्मुखता natural है.
Extroversion has become natural now.
सबकी बहिर्मुखता natural है.
This state of extroversion has become a natural state. Sometimes you say that, yes, it's in a good way that you're becoming extrovert, but in fact it's still extroversion. If you're understanding, like again, if you're nodding in agreement, then Dadi will continue. Sometimes, yes, extroversion is required, it's good. You see something good, you saw it externally. Yes, you've taken it within yourself. It's something of the outside, but you've taken it inside yourself. But introversion, where you've turned inwards, and when you're talking about introversion, you're looking at the mind, intellect, and sanskars of the soul. When you have a connection with Baba, then have I really experienced introversion? Means have I turned within with my mind, intellect, and sanskars. Okay, I don't have the habit of seeing bad things, but I still have the habit of seeing things. I don't have the habit of being pulled to the things of food. I don't have the habit of fashion. All of those are external things, and yes, it's beneficial that I don't have those habits. But spirituality, godly knowledge,
एंजल स्टेज को पाने के लिए जो अंदर से जो हमारे क्वालिटी है वो तो अंतर मन से अंतर्मुक्ता से बाबा के जो नॉलेज है
with Baba's knowledge,
प्रिंसिपल है
the principles that Baba has taught me,
जो ईश्वर के गुण है
the virtues of God,
जो हमको निर्भय निर्वैर बना देवे.
All of these things should make me completely fearless and free from any grudges, free from any animosity.
अंदर मेरे
If even by mistake I keep inside myself any other souls,
मित्रता भाव नहीं है, द्वेष भाव है.
if I have conflict with another soul, instead of having friendship, I have enmity for another soul,
तो अंतर्मुक्ता नहीं है.
then I am not introverted.
उसका व्यवहार हम बाहर से देखती हूँ ना.
Externally, I see that interaction, and so then I begin to think in the same way also on an external level. I've seen everything externally, but I've not seen the inside of the soul. I've not seen their feelings, but let me bring about transformation inside the other soul. Like Baba knows what's inside each one of us and wants to bring about that transformation within each one of us. So this is really God's wonder. Whatever we have externally, good things or bad things, all of that is still filled with body consciousness.
जैसे कल आज मोहिनी बहन के यहाँ किसके मुख से टोटका निकला, सोल कॉन्शियस रहना. उनका सोल कॉन्शियस भी तब रहे.
This morning, Moini Ben has been speaking about remaining soul conscious. But Daddy was saying that only when God's knowledge is filled in yourself are you able to remain soul conscious. And Daddy was thinking about this further. To have the awareness of God, the awareness of God's knowledge in myself, when I'm aware of His virtues, when I have all of this in I, the soul, then I can say, yes, I've become soul conscious. Then I can say, yes, I've got God consciousness. Because whatever He is saying, whatever He is explaining, all of that is inside me. So let me ask myself, do I have that inside me? So even in terms of our thoughts, all we have to do is be introverted and go into silence. The path inside opens through introversion. Without introversion, it's as though the door inside is closed. Then it's like you're just looking through the window. Yes, you're able to see the light. The light comes in through the window, but you're not able to go outside. The things inside go outside, and the things outside come inside. That's not possible through the window. If you open the window, then yes, you see the light outside. If you keep the window closed, then you're still in the darkness inside. So it's like a question of the external things coming inside. Through extroversion, the external things come inside. Through introversion, the things inside come outside.
बड़े हुए हैं, शाने हुए हैं, बाबा ने समझ दी है.
We've become grown up. We've grown up now. We've become sensible. Baba's given us that understanding. We become the world benefactors, and we're becoming the masters of the world.
जैसे बाबा ने डबल मालिक बोला.
Baba spoke of us being the double masters.
ऐसी ईश्वर की संतान स्वराज अधिकारी.
So first of all, we are the children of God who have self-sovereignty. A master of the self. I have the power to rule myself. It's only when I consider myself to be a child of God that I'm able to rule myself. It's the same physical senses, the same mind, intellect. But then I'm no longer a slave to any of those. I wouldn't be influenced or suppressed by anyone then, or any of the things inside. So being influenced or suppressed by your own virtues or your own nature, or even to suppress others through your own nature. You're quickly suppressed by others, or you suppress others yourself. This is also just a nature that one has. So whilst I still have this nature, I'm not able to be soul conscious. Or even if there's any particular sanskar that's bothering me inside myself, then I can't be soul conscious. Let God's knowledge, virtues and powers enter me. Let them incarnate in me, in either soul. So when the soul is filled with all of these things and it has the feeling that yes, it's now time to go home, and so you don't need to create any other thoughts because internally your preparations are already made. Like Baba's sitting in the Avyak, in the subtle region, he's looking after us very well. And he's looking after us with his Avyakt stage and Avyakt words. And those words are really filled with a lot of power. And then you see all the service that's happening. Baba's making many souls loving and cooperative through his Avyakt form and getting everything done. He makes them cooperative and makes them loving. He makes them loving and makes them cooperative. So in comparison to what Baba is doing, what am I doing that I should have any tension or have any arrogance about that? But this is again the habit, and this is what brings that tension and arrogance. To become heavy, to have tension about something, or to be discriminative in my interaction with others. With some I'm very loving and with others I don't have that love. All of this is because of habits inside the self. This also is a weakness within myself. Or sometimes you have a lot of experience with others and you know what they're like, and so you just be careful with yourself and your dealings with that person. Sometimes you feel, yes, I have experience of this person and that's why I have to remain careful with them. So what is the experience that I have? So it's like the experience of that person has got mixed with my personal experience that I should be having of being Baba's child. So what is in my experience? It should be all these positive things. And instead I allow the experience of the interaction with the other person to become mixed in that. So now I know it's 8 o'clock, but I'm not going to look at the clock. I want you to go deep inside this thing. So what is my experience? Let me emerge the experience, my personal experience that I've had through Baba's knowledge, relationship with Baba. So is this my experience, or is it my interaction with other people, that this one's done this and this one's done that? Is that the experience that I'm carrying?
Protection or independent.
2 words that Daddy got this morning, I think, but he was talking about protection and independence. So this really struck Daddy very strongly. That I want to remain protected and I also want independence.
तो ऐसा अपना दिल में यही लगन
in my heart to have just this deep concern to create such a stage. So within my heart, this is the type of stage that I need to create, that I am protected.
Protection, Baba, असल मेरे ऊपर ये है ना, ये जब protection कहते हैं तो दिमाग को चाहिए.
It's the head that needs protection. Shelter, protection. So let me feel that canopy of protection above me. Then you don't experience any fear. You cannot have any thoughts of fear. You cannot have any thoughts of disheartenment.
Independent.
And to be independent such that you're not dependent on anyone, and you become a conqueror of Maya because you're even aware of the subtle form of Maya. But when you're extrovert, then you're not aware of what Maya is. When you're introverted, then because you're in that state of introversion, Baba will signal you that be careful, this is Maya. Anytime that Maya comes, because Baba wants his children to remain completely independent. A child is a child of the Almighty Authority, and so he's not dependent on anyone. He's free from any other support. He becomes an image of support for others, but he himself remains totally free from any support.
थोड़ा सा आधार, वो आधार दे करके अधीन नहीं बनाता, निमित्त मिसाल तो दे करके उसका चरित्र ऊंचा बन जाता.
Baba just makes that one an image of support, so that that one is supporting others through his divine activities and remain in remembrance and that powerful awareness to such an extent that you remind others of Baba through your thoughts, words and actions. Whatever words you speak, they remind others of Baba. The thoughts you have should also be of reminding others of Baba. The thoughts of staying in remembrance, the thoughts of reminding others of remembrance. To what extent are these thoughts in myself powerful? So how powerful are these thoughts that I'm able to be in that remembrance? By staying in remembrance, you'll automatically, the power to remind others of remembrance will automatically be working. When I don't have such elevated thoughts filled with that remembrance, then whoever I'm in connection with, I'm not able to help them. But I've seen, and I'm telling you from my personal experience, that many times it's the wonder of elevated thoughts that it happens practical instantly. That is just thinking about a couple of people that that person had the thought that they wanted to meet Dadi, and then Dadi happened to be there just that time. And then there was another lady, someone with a BMW, and Dadi, Dadi was remembering her. She herself hadn't thought, but then that lady came in front of Dadi, and so Dadi was able to meet her. So how are those who are just in connection with you able to come close to you? What is the connection that we have with one another for? In the golden age, we won't be sitting together so closely. The closer the connection we have at the confluence age, the more beneficial it is. And don't think that you'll become dependent. No, you'll become totally independent even though you have closeness at this time. We are close together at this time so that we can fly home together.
बाबा क्या चाहता है वो एक दो से देख करके प्रैक्टिकल करने के लिए.
It's so that we can see one another and do practically what Baba wants from all of us. We have one another's help at this time. There is God's love. And if in my relationships with others, if I'm not experiencing God's love, that spiritual love, then there is heaviness between the two. And you feel that I don't experience that spiritual love with this one. So what happened to my experience then? I have experienced God's love, so why should I not share that then? Why should I forget God's love and continue to conduct myself according to the experience that I have with one another where that love is missing? That is asking Francois if you're understanding. Are you catching the Hindi? Are you able to understand? You're understanding what that is trying to say? You're getting proper translation? That he doesn't get time to meet personally, and in class she has this time to share the deep things. Baba is talking about our experiences that can help others, that can serve many other souls. So where did this experience come from? Which experience do I have? I'd say according to the drama, it's my fortune that everyone's hand is in the hand of the bestower of fortune, and seeing this experience, the soul is singing Baba's praise just as a detached observer, that seeing how each one is experiencing that fortune of having your hand in Baba's hand. 50 years ago, someone had commented, no matter what happens, at that time the whole world was empty. And that person said, I've seen one wonder of Dada, which no one else has done. They've brought the woods from all the different forests and brought them together and made them one. There's a saying that there's a saying that all the woods cannot get together. Otherwise, you can't get together all the different kinds of wood together and put them together. But here, Baba's brought all different types of wood together and made them one. So that person put everyone's head right, because that person also wasn't really so much BK, but that person had said this positive thing about what Baba had done, and this really struck home the anti-party people, that someone from the anti-party speaks like this about Baba, that is Dada's wonder that he's able to bring together everyone. He said, we're not able to unite our own families, and here this one has brought people from so many different places. So he's saying that, let alone my experience, but Baba has made all of these people become united. For all of them to become united and sit together in one gathering with this unity. Christians, Muslims, Hindus, Parsis, everyone to sit together in that unity. This was a wonder. So this experience that we have, each one should ask, what experience do I have inside myself? Is it this one stayed with me and this one stayed with me? And someone would say, I've got experience of this one being with me. And so it's all this negative interaction that you're holding on to. It's a wonder that all the love, peace, cleanliness, the purity, all of that is forgotten that you received from God. You're seeing everything happening in a practical way.
बाबा ये अनुभव अपना हम बच्चों के द्वारा हमको बच्चों वो कराने औरों को चाहता है.
Baba's wanting others to have this experience through us experiencing it.
बाबा की ये है भगवान को जो चाहे सो कर सकता है.
And the other thing about God is
भक्ति में कहते मुर्दे को जिंदा कर सकता है.
God can do whatever He wants. On the path of bhakti, they say God even revives those who are dead. He makes those who are sinful into charitable souls.
बाबा की जो बाबा की नेचुरल है यही तो ईश्वर की कमाल.
So this is really a wonder of God, that God is able to do all of these things. Like Baba said the other day, it should not be a wonder of our unnecessary thoughts that begin to work by themselves. And once the thoughts begin, they don't leave you alone. The thought should be such that you don't even need to have thoughts. Sometimes you have this thought arising about whatever Baba wants you to do. It's fixed in the drama, and so you don't need to think about it. And when that thought arises within you, Baba will fill that thought with power, and you'll be the one who creates your reward. But if I don't have such quality thoughts, then Baba will fill power in someone else. And even about this, Baba had said, the child is not of such a quality. But at one point, another top quality soul had come in front of this one who was not of such a high quality. And so Baba entered this one, means he touched his intellect and uplifted the other person who had come. A student person who had just come in front of this person. The person who is the instrument there, they're not so qualified, yet the student that came in front of him was of a high quality. And Baba seeing that this person, having come in front of the not so qualified person, will miss out. So then Baba himself touched the intellect of this one and got such service done that others never ever thought possible that he would be instrumental to do this kind of service. Sometimes many others have brought others to Baba, but they themselves have disappeared. The one who brought others, they've gone. And the one that brought, that person is still here. And so it's a wonder of God. If I become such a quality soul that I'm useful to God and my thoughts are so powerful also, then God will make me an instrument. Then whoever I serve, that person will benefit, and the person who is serving will think, I didn't do anything, Baba just made me an instrument. This person will just have the feeling that truly I didn't do anything, just Baba made it happen. So the essence, become introverted, go into silence. The door to go inside is introversion. Go into deep silence, look at yourself inside. What are the quality of my thoughts? Baba's giving me the training for my thoughts. Okay, we don't have waste thoughts anymore, we've understood that, but Baba's not happy with just that. Baba's seeing what are the type of thoughts that my child has. Now 2 minutes yoga, very pure, powerful, elevated thoughts. Just the thought of Baba, a pure, positive, powerful thought.